Welcome to JMW's Inside Man YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and keep the conversation going in the comments section as well. So two of our property litigation lawyers have written a new book, Nelly Borisova and David Smith. So David, what's the book called and what's it about?
Snappily named Houses of Multiple Occupation and Selective Licensing, and it is very specifically about the licensing of private sector rented property under the Housing Act 2004, which is quite a complex area. I mean, so make it sound like something really minor and small, but it's actually quite a big area and quite a growth area as well.
And who's the book aimed at?
Well, it's published by Routledge, and it's technically in a series called Routledge Focus, which is aimed at environmental health officers. But it's kind of written to cover a range of people, all the way from sophisticated landlords up through EHOs and surveyors, up to lawyers who need an understanding of the subject. And I doubt it's got much to say to someone who already specialises in HMOs, but someone who doesn't know a huge amount about it and wants to understand the law around it would get quite a bit. It's fairly referenced to all the relevant cases, so it'll work for a range of people. I hope. I say this advisedly. I hope it will work for a range of people.
And so, I mean, clearly you both have expertise in this to write about in the book. Can you just tell me a little bit about your practice in relation to HMOs? Yeah,
it's been something I did right from the start. But when I was a trainee solicitor, the Housing Act 2004 was just coming into effect, and I, for my sins, co-authored a book back as a trainee on the topic, which is probably a bad thing to do. Someone gets you pigeonholed as an expert right from the start. So it's something I've followed throughout my professional career. And at the time I wrote about the whole act, but which covers lots of different things. But this book's just on one core element of it, because that's something that's developed all on its own and become quite big in and of itself. And therefore it's an area which we really need to, which all deserves its own book, because there's so much law now associated with the whole thing as well, and an ever-increasing amount. And of course, England and Wales have also diverged neatly. I mean, at the time I wrote the book, Welsh devolution wasn't really much of a thing, whereas now it's quite a substantial thing, and there's actually a sort of slow sort of shift as England and Wales have done their own slightly different things around this topic.
Is it a difficult area for landlords to navigate their way around, David?
It can be, and because it creates offences which are all offences of strict liability, it's not an area which forgives mistake. And local authorities in England, at least, are also now empowered to issue civil penalties, direct penalty fines, without going through the magistrates' courts. So they can be quite motivated, obviously, to penalise at a substantial sum of money. I mean, £30,000, it's not a vast amount of money in the grand scheme of things, but if you're a landlord with one or two properties, that's a substantial amount of money. It's going to really hurt.
Thank you for your insight and good luck with the book, David. And there is a 20% discount if you'd like a copy of the book in the description below. If you'd like to speak to David for legal advice in relation to HMOs, you can email insideman@jmw.co.uk or call 0161 82 81 999. I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man.